What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool news video, and we will talk about the Newcastle Takeover and its effect on Liverpool Football Club's future, because some Liverpool fans actually think that it's over for Liverpool. After Jurgen Klopp is gone, Liverpool will slide down the table and Newcastle will be guaranteed the top 4 place and guaranteed the title challenge almost every single season. And I will be honest, I'm actually a little bit worried, because I looked at Chelsea's past 20 years since Roman Abramovich took over, and I also took a look at Manchester City's last 11 years. Chelsea only missed out like twice or 3 times on the top 4 in the past 20 years since Abramovich took over, and Man City in the past 11 years have always finished in the top 4, and also Man City in the previous 40 years finished in the top 4 in the English top flight once, and Chelsea like twice or 3 times finished in the top 4 in the previous 30 years before Roman Abramovich took over. So if you think about this, Newcastle could also get a guaranteed top 4 place because of the insane investment that is going to be happening, because Saudi Arabia is 10 times richer than the Man City owners, this investment fund that bought Newcastle. So that means 3 of the top 4 places could be taken up by Newcastle, Chelsea and Manchester City in the next 10 to 20 years. And that leaves the rest of the Premier League, Arsenal, Manchester United, Liverpool and Tottenham and all the other clubs, one place to fight over. Then that will be in one place in the top 4, because the rest of it probably will be almost guaranteed top 4 place. You could argue Chelsea maybe are not guaranteed the top 4 place because Roman Abramovich is not investing as heavily as they had to in the early years of Chelsea. But one of the reasons why is because they don't have to. Chelsea are farming loan players like crazy. They have like 30 to 40 loan players out, and they always sell them on for a profit, and that generates income for them, additionally to sponsorship deals and everything. So that's a smart business plan by Chelsea. But Man City had to spend £1 billion on players, and Newcastle will probably spend £1 billion in the next 10 to 15 years on players, and Liverpool just cannot afford to do that because of our very strict financial plans utilized by the owners. The Liverpool's owners are not even in the top 10 richest owners in the Premier League, and that shows a lot. Sadly, that's what football is about. Kevin Phillips claimed that Liverpool will be worried following the Newcastle director Amanda Staveley's comments about Newcastle's long-term title ambitions. She said that Newcastle wants to win the Premier League, they want to challenge for the top 4 as soon as possible, and they will build it up gradually, but they already will invest heavily into the playing squad in the January transfer window. And this is what he said, Kevin Phillips: the top Premier League clubs like Man United and Liverpool will be worried hearing Newcastle's ambitions. They fear Newcastle are going to be the next Manchester City, but it is of no concern to anyone else really. You just have to worry about your own house and deal with it. Nobody foresaw Man City going on to the heights they did. Will Newcastle get there? Who knows? I think it's good news for football in general though, because you want a club like them up at the top of the league challenging. Yes, you want them challenging, that's right, but you don't want a scenario where Man City are winning 6 of the last 10 Premier League trophies, having never won the Premier League before. You don't want a scenario where Newcastle are winning 3 out of every 4 league titles in the next 20 years, because that's not fun. You don't want a league where only 1 or 2 rich clubs can win the title. You want a league where Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester United, Arsenal and maybe Newcastle can all win the Premier League. You want a league where the top 6 are challenging for the league title. But I have my doubts. If Newcastle also will have unlimited amounts of money and everything points in their direction, then I find it very, very hard to see how Liverpool winning a title won't be like a one-off once every 5 or 10 years. Manchester United the same, even though Man United spent as much money as Man City on players because of their bad transfer policy. They haven't won the Premier League since Sir Alex Ferguson left. Of course, I love that, I enjoy that, but the club of Manchester United's stature, just like the club of Liverpool's stature, should be winning the title more often. Liverpool should be winning the title more often, but because of Man City and their unlimited amounts of money, Liverpool didn't win the title more than once in the last 30 years. And I think if Newcastle owners will also have almost unlimited spending, how can Liverpool compete with that? We have to have very, very smart people in position to sign the right players for the right prices, and also we need to have a world-class manager who can maybe even get more out of the players than their market value suggests. The likelihood of underdogs like Leicester City coming all the way down from there and winning the Premier League title is looking increasingly slimmer and slimmer. I mean, Leicester even finishing in 5th place was an absolutely huge achievement. And there is actually a very interesting comments by Liverpool fans saying that this is the beginning of the end, not just for Liverpool and Man United, but everyone except Chelsea, Man City and Newcastle. In a few years there won't be a big 6 in the Premier League, just a big 3. What I don't understand is how UK fans, football fans, they stopped the European Super League happening. They protested very, very vehemently and hardly. But when a mini Super League takes over the Premier League itself, they do nothing. And that is actually a good point. I think a lot more people should protest this and should protest against the owners of Man City and Newcastle and Chelsea. But it is what it is. Now they are so ingrained in football that I don't think that will happen. Another Liverpool fan said Liverpool should be worried. It took Man City less than 10 years to go from nobodies to the dominant team in the Premier League, even after financial fair play was introduced. Not financial fair play has shown to be toothless. There is nothing to stop Newcastle spending even more to get them competing at the top. And that's the problem. Financial fair play is an absolute joke after Man City just bought the biggest and most expensive lawyers and they could get out of it. It won't affect Newcastle. It will take time, but when they get it right, then it will be hard to compete with that incredible wealth. Another Liverpool fan says it won't take long for Newcastle, 3 or 4 transfer windows, and if they get the right players, they will be challenging for the top 4. So I'm not worried about the next 5 years. I'm worried about the next 20 years or 30 years, and that will be also a big challenge after Jurgen Klopp goes. What Liverpool will do. And Robbie Fowler also said that the Salah contract talks won't cause Liverpool unrest in the dressing room, and especially if Salah gets a 350 or 400,000 pounds per week deal, it won't cause unrest in the dressing room, according to the legendary striker Robbie Fowler. He said Mo Salah is without question world class, and in my opinion there won't be one dissenting voice in the dressing room over the Egyptian being rewarded with a new contract that will make him the club's highest earner. In all honesty, we are running out of superlatives about him, especially after that goal against Manchester City that had a bit of everything. If it had been Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo, it would be talked up even more. There were the brilliant touches in tight spaces, the body strength, the pace, the bit of guile, and then a glorious finish. I will be amazed if there are no conversations about a new contract going on now. He will most certainly believe he's worth a bit more than he's earning, and of course be entitled to a pay rise. Of course there had been instances in dressing rooms in the past where some players have become upset over an individual earning more than the rest, but in this instance Liverpool must realize that Mo Salah is now one of the best players in the world, whether they like it or not, and with everything that brings. Having been in numerous dressing rooms from players' point of view, I honestly don't think there will be any problems with Mo Salah becoming easily the best paid player at Anfield. The other players will respect him and will respect that because they know how important he is to Liverpool, and also they know what a brilliant player he is, what a world-class player he is. His numbers are speaking for themselves. And also, how could Cristiano Ronaldo win the Player of the Month award when he got 3 goals? Mo Salah got like 6 or 7 goals and 3 assists at the start of the season, yet Ronaldo wins the Player of the Month and not Mo Salah. Even Gary Lineker has said that Mo Salah should have got the Player of the Month award. And Robbie Fowler continued, we are talking about one of the standout world players. I would absolutely be amazed if there is not, there is one single player in that Liverpool dressing room who is saying Mo Salah doesn't deserve a contract to match his world-class status. Forget all about, oh, I want this because he's on that. Players get what they deserve and what their performances warrant. His performances right now warrant a great new contract, and that's true. It just depends what the definition of great is when it comes to player contracts. Mo Salah might think he deserves 500k weekly wages and Liverpool think he deserves 300, 350, so they need to narrow it down, and hopefully he will get the contract that keeps him at Liverpool for the next 4 or 5 years. If Ronaldo can play on when he's 36 years old and do it in the Premier League, then Mo Salah definitely can do it when he's 35, 36 years old. So my dream is for Salah to end his career at Liverpool and to become one of the all-time greatest goal scorers the Premier League has ever seen and Liverpool has ever seen. He's already one of the great goal scorers, but I want Salah to become top 5 when it comes to Premier League goal scorers and top 5 when it comes to Liverpool goal scorers. That would be absolutely brilliant, and if he continues scoring 25-30 goals at least every season, then he will be definitely up there. Kieran Maguire, a finance expert, has urged Liverpool to be cautious when offering an extension to Mo Salah's contract. He said, if Liverpool have any sense, they will look at the total cost of the player over the next 3 or 4 years. That cost is the transfer fee plus wages. Liverpool need to extend the contract for a sensible period of time with Mo Salah and not lock themselves into those wages for too long. What is a sensible amount of time? 3 years, 4 years? I would give Salah a 4-year contract at least, because Salah knows and deserves that, and Salah knows that he can get and keep himself in top shape for the next 4 years, definitely. Maguire said, if Liverpool pay Salah £300,000 per week, that's £36 million for 2 years. If they get another 2 years out of Salah for that price, that's got to be brilliant value. But Liverpool can get out of Salah more than 2 years of brilliant performances, and I think that would be great value for Liverpool. I really hope that this contract gets sorted before the end of the season, because if Salah will have only 1 year left on his contract, then the Sharks will come circling and there will be a lot of clubs coming in for Mo Salah and trying to get him in the next summer transfer window for a cut price deal. So I think a 2-year extension would be very sensible for all parties. Salah would get to stay at Liverpool for another 3 years, another 2 years after his contract, but he still has 1.5 years left. And it's frankly, winning trophies at Liverpool with Mo Salah is much easier than without Mo Salah. And Robbie Fowler also said, at times there has been some talk about what Salah has got to do to receive the credit he deserves. I know from a Liverpool point of view, Salah is idolized, there is no doubt about that. With the goal against Man City, now the rest of England and the rest of the United Kingdom appears to have caught up with that view. He appears to be perfectly happy doing what he's doing for Liverpool. Everyone wants him to remain for however long he wants, happy that he will become the best paid player. So I already can't wait to watch the Watford Liverpool game and to see Salah in action. And I think he's in the best form of his life, and David James thinks so as well. He said this season Salah has got back to the level he was at the season before last. He scored a lot of goals last year. I'm a fan of Salah, and at the same time slightly frustrated sometimes. I think in particular last season when Liverpool's game was directed mainly through him, hence the reason he scored so many goals, whereas this season he's part of a Liverpool side that are playing back at the level that won them the Premier League a couple of years ago. That's the Salah I like, where they are not completely dependent on him and he doesn't look like he has to do more. I think this season he looks scary, doesn't he? Wow, I think the goal itself was top draw, but his performance in that game against the Man City side, who made Chelsea look very normal and arguably should have had more out of the PSG game. For Salah to be a notable performer in that game emphasizes the fact that he's back to the top of his game. So what do you think about all the things that we talked about in today's video? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching guys, hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day, see you later, goodbye.